I'm fairly certain that if you or I said anything close to what you're about to hear, there'd be a nationwide outcry, we'd be made an example of, and we'd be canceled just like that.
What are white people superior at?
What exactly are white people superior at?
They're real good at violence.
Violence, genocide.
It's like stealing people's lives just because they feel like it.
If you are white and you know this is happening and you say nothing, then you're a killer too.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Insecurity, pretending,
Fear, being fearful of nothing, being ignorant,
Blame.
letting their egos control their every move, superior at being dicks.
What exactly are white people superior at?
Oppression, gaslighting,
lack of empathy.
intellectualizing oppression.
Did I say oppression?
What exactly are white people superior at?
Taking what's not there, taking shit.
Taking our ideas.
Copycatting.
Gentrification.
appropriating things that do not belong to them.
Taking over other people's cultures and making you believe that they invented it.
Maybe they're thinking of it as repurposing. It's like recycle and repurpose.
As my grandma would say, them white folk, they'll take it if you don't copyright it.
They are very good at destruction of land, destruction of people, destruction of humanness.
Republican, whether you're Democrat, whether you're conservative, like white people are really good at upholding white supremacy.
How about claiming that, they are actually a whole separate race, when actually white DNA comes from the black female?
So what exactly are white people superior at?
Honey, lying, stealing, and cheating. Manipulation.
Withholding information.
Lying.
Telling lies.
If you're out camping or you've hit hard times and there's no potable water anywhere to be found, just take your solar cooker with you, dip it in a lake, stream, or pond, open it up, put it out in the sun, and within hours you're going to have potable, sterilized drinking water. My link for your massive discount is in the description below.
So I'm basically asking Texas residents, the 2022 midterms are coming up. We have a big race for governor, Beto versus Abbott. Who are we voting for?
Probably Beto.
Beta.
How come?
The abortion stuff.
I'm pretty socialist democratic, so I've always supported Democratic candidate. Honestly, I just want to push for Texas to be blue.
I'm an out-of-state student, but I do plan on voting for Beto, so yeah.
Yeah, same here.
How come you guys want to vote for Beto? Talk to me about it. Just like one thing you guys like about Beto? You're really excited about Beto. You want to vote for him for governor. Talk to me about why that is.
Again, I haven't brushed up before this particular thing. I like Beto.
But you will be voting for him for governor for the 2022 midterms.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you planning on voting at all in the 2022 midterms?
Yes.
Who do you plan on voting for?
Beto.
How come?
I love Beto. I don't know anything about politics, I'm sorry.
Give me one of his policies that you like the most that has led you to want to vote for him.
Oh, shoot. I'm not into politics. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know anything.
Beto.
How come?
Because I lean slightly Democratic.
What is that big policy that Beto has put forth that you really like that captured your attention?
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
No?
No. I'm not the most political person on earth.
What would you say to people who say Beto O'Rourke wants to take away gun rights from Texans? Texas is big on guns. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't really care about guns, to be honest. So, it doesn't really affect me.
So if the governor decides no more guns in Texas, Beto decides that you'd be all for it?
I mean, yeah, sure.
I come from a very Hispanic family, and I know there's a lot of prejudice against other candidates still, but I guess it's more like a family thing.
Have you looked into Beto personally at all before voting for him?
No, I haven't. I'm not very aware of political standards right now, but I will take a look at it.
But you will be voting for him?
Yes.
State sponsor of terrorism is a term of US law. It doesn't exist in EU law. But a Zelensky advisor called for it in the Parliament magazine, and here we are again reporting for duty. And all it will do is make peace harder to achieve. Exactly, of course, what the extremists want. No peace, no off-ramps, all bridges burning, and Ukraine a permanent abattoir in a suicidal holy crusade against Russia. So, if you want to start naming state sponsors of terrorism, let's do it. European sponsorship of Israeli terrorism in Palestine, Western sponsorship of Saudi terror in Yemen, ISIS, the product of French, American, British, Turkish and Gulf sponsorship in Syria and Iraq. Decades of right-wing US-backed terrorism against the Cuban Revolution, the Contras in Nicaragua, death squads in Guatemala, in El Salvador. Remember Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, horror after horror, terror after terror. There's nothing constructive about the pot calling the kettle black. Would you ever cop on, start championing peace and enter the war which is patently in the interests of EU, Ukrainian and Russian citizens?
I'm 3 weeks into a job. Full gut. 3 days in a row, not one motherfucker showed up for work. I don't care if I pay them 15. I don't give a fuck if I give them 25 or 40. People do not want to work. I don't bitch. I don't complain. I got a fully stocked trailer sitting over there with every tool that you can possibly imagine. I buy tools for them. They either have no driver's license, 20 minutes too far to drive. I've even heard the excuse, well, I've got to go home and plan a baby shower, from a grown-ass man. I've worked all over the United States. I've done every kind of construction, remodeling, commercial, residential there is. And this is the worst I've ever fucking seen it. 15 years of busted my ass. It's fixing to go down the fucking drain. Sad fucking country we live in.
We see risks to inflation, and we are taking those into account, and we want to make sure that prices remain as stable as possible in the United States.
But how can you do this and pursue this, the policy you have, without further weakening the dollar? There's a dollar crisis out there, and people's money is being stolen. People who have saved, they're being robbed.
But you're mistaken in saying that the Federal Reserve has spent any money. You say $5 trillion. We have lent money. We have purchased securities. That's not buying. That's not dissipating. The money. We've gotten all the money back.
I hate to interrupt, but my time is about up. But I would like to suggest that you say it's not spending money. Well, it's money out of thin air. You put it into the market and you hold assets, and the assets aren't, they are diminishing in value when you buy up bad assets.
Credit to avoid fiscal or exchange rate crises in countries around the world.
Yeah, but do you think this is a good idea? You agree with that we should make this commitment?
I think in general that having the IMF available to try to avoid crises is a good idea, yes.
Again, where will the money come from? This is our problem in this country. We're bankrupt too. Mm-hmm. And also along this line, do you feel like, you go along with this commitment, what are we going to do when a state gets under the gun, like California and others? I mean, they're approaching the state that Greece is in. I mean, we can't turn down California. I mean, if we can bail out all these banks and they get off the hook, and now they're making billions and their executive officers are cleaning up, do you think we would ever turn down California or any other state that gets in the same situation?
Well, that's Congress's decision.
Well, you bailed out a lot of people from the IMF. You'd have the capability of buying up some debt and doing all these kind of things. We can't even audit you to find out what you do. So you can do anything you want.
To be perfectly honest, this whole affair is inexcusable. It is a pitiful reflection on the Conservative Parliamentary Party at every level. And it reflects really badly, obviously, on the government of the day.
Do you think there's any coming back from this?
I don't think so. But I haven't. I have to say I've been of that view really since two weeks ago. This is an absolute disgrace. As a Tory MP of 17 years, who's never been a minister, who's got on with it loyally most of the time, I think it's a shambles and a disgrace. I think it is utterly appalling.
So you seem quietly...
I'm livid. And I really shouldn't say this, but I hope all those people that put Liz Truss in number 10, I hope it was worth it. I hope it was worth it for the ministerial red box. I hope it was worth it to sit round the cabinet table, because the damage they have done to our party is extraordinary.
I'm sorry, it's very difficult to convey. You look just furious about this.
I am. I've had enough. I've had enough of talentless people putting their tick in the right box, not because it's in the national interest, but because it's in their own personal interest to achieve ministerial position. And I know I speak for hundreds of backbenchers who right now are worrying for their constituents all the time, but now worrying about their own personal circumstances, because there is nothing as an ex-MP. And a lot of my colleagues are wondering, as many of their constituents are wondering, how they're going to pay their mortgages if this all comes to an end soon.
What do you do next? How do you move on from this?
Well, I'm leaving Parliament at the next general election, and I'm leaving voluntarily. But unless we get our act together and behave like grown-ups, I'm afraid many hundreds of my colleagues, perhaps 200, will be leaving at the behest of their electorate. So that's really pretty much all I've got to say. Patience reached the limit.
While we have time and it still retains some of its perceived value, maybe it'd be a good idea to convert your worthless fiat into valuable, storable food. Don't be the one who waits till the food riots start happening. You don't want to be fighting panicking people in the store over that last jar of peanut butter. At Prepare with High Impact Flicks, you can get up to 3 air and watertight gasket sealed ammo cans, each filled with a 4-week emergency supply. 7 food varieties, 2,000 calories a day, 284 servings, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and each meal comes in a resealable, heavy-duty 4-layered pouch. And it's got a 25-year shelf life. Every order of a 4-week supply gets you $100 off plus free shipping. Here's how simple it is to make. I'm going to cook up some Granny's home-style potato soup. People are going to think I'm a culinary hero. You open the pouch, boil 4.5 cups of water, stir the contents, simmer on low heat for 15 to 20 minutes, take it off the heat, then let it set for 2 to 3 minutes before you serve it up.
Man, this stuff's so good. People are going to think Granny stopped by and filled your kitchen with a whole bunch of love.
Well, if Granny does stop by, she's going to fill your behind with a whole bunch of buckshot if you keep talking with your mouth full. Wipe your dang beard off. It's embarrassing. So maybe convert some of your worthless fiat into valuable food while you still can. Order now and get $100 off of up to 3 4-week emergency food supplies at preparewithhighimpactflix.com. The link is in the description.